In this video, I'm going to talk you through how to get your Akai MPK Mini to work with Ableton Live. Hello friends, my name's Craig Lowe and welcome to the Push Patterns channel. Today we'll look at how we can get this thing set up to work in harmony in Ableton Live. Also stick around to the end because we were looking at how we can find out where Akai have hidden their secret desktop editor. So let's jump into Ableton and see how we can get all this working. First thing we need to make sure we've done is we've plugged in our controller. So it plugs into the USB slot on the back here, and then you plug it into a USB slot on your computer. So once you plug that in, let's go in and open up Ableton Live. Now, the MPK Mini is class compliant. What that basically means is we don't need to download any additional software for it to be able to communicate with Ableton Live. It will automatically pick it up. So if I start playing here on the keyboard, you should see up in the top right hand corner here that it's picking up MIDI messages, and I have a track armed here and it's receiving MIDI notes. Turn that off just to double check. If you don't see that, if you press Command, comma, this will take you to your preferences. Go to the MIDI tab. Make sure MPK Mini is selected here and track and remote are on the input. That's sorted. Let's go and look at how we can control some drum beats. So I have a channel here. I'm going to go to my drums, collect 808, drag it to the top of the channel. Check this out. If I play the pads, now it'll be coming in on the all synced up, okay? Then watch what happens when I play the keys. That's also controlling the drums. Now, as the default, these pads are set to MIDI channel 10 and these keys are set to MIDI channel 1. Basically what that means is we can have this controller control two separate channels at the same time and not interfere with each other. So we can do that with the MIDI I/O here. So we can select all ins from the controller. Then if you select down here, if I press the pads, can you see number 10 lights up here? So I'm going to select 10. Now if I do this, the pads here, or the keys here, are not going to control that channel. I can go over here, do the same thing, all channels, and then click it now, and you see channel 1 is selected. So I'll select that and now arm that as well, and I can select it. Also, to be able to arm two tracks at the same time, if you go to Preferences, go to Record, Warp and Launch, make sure exclusive arm and solo are turned off. Okay, so let's get a pad sound. So let's go to Instruments and let's type in pad here. Let's just grab one from analog. Let's choose this pad. Click here. I'm going to turn down the filter a little bit. There we go. And now if I play some pads. And I can play some drums. So you're rocking and rolling. You can now control two sounds with one controller. Okay, next thing we can do is we can use the keyboard as a control surface. How we set this up, go to Preferences again, Audio, go to MIDI. Make sure on your control surfaces you have the MPK Mini MK3 set. Should automatically be there, but if it doesn't, you can drop down, choose it from the list, choose Input MPK Mini 3 and Output to the same as well. Close it down. Then we need to go to a patch on the controller. How we do this, we go to Program Select and then we choose the pads. Ableton Live's preset will live on pad 2. Now if I go into Ableton and I click on a instrument rack, these dials up here are automatically going to map up with the controls here. See, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 all map up. So I don't have to manually MIDI map like I just did before. If I choose an audio effect, say for example an auto filter, put that on the end. Same thing again here. Now that's selected. First one here, resonance, automatically mapped up. So that's a super handy feature to have there. Another cool feature with this is we can map these dials here. So how we do that is we go up to this Midi section here, and now any of these parameters can now be adjusted. So we can go down here and select our sends to be controlled by these dials. So if I turn that dial, I turn the one next to it. If I turn that dial, and then I select the send next to it, turn that dial, they've now been mapped to MIDI off. See, now this controls these effects. So if I made a drum beat, I can then send it to some audio effects, which is super cool. Another cool thing we can do is we can set up the note repeat to be in sync with Ableton's tempo. So the note repeat is this section here. So if I press this on, you can hear it's there. I can choose a subdivision by holding down note repeat, selecting the subdivisions that are labeled here. At the moment it's not in time with Ableton, we haven't synced it up. So let's look at how we would do that. Again, we go to preferences, go to the output to the MPK, we want to sync with Ableton. So basically we're sending out the tempo of Ableton to the controller. Now we need to set this up on the controller as well. So what we need to do is hold down note repeat and turn the dial that says sync. And we'll turn it till it says external up in the little menu up here. Now if I press note repeat, nothing happens because we need to engage the timeline in Ableton. So if I press spacebar, now it should be in time with Ableton. If I turn on Ableton's metronome, it's in time with Ableton. Okay, so again, that will turn off once you don't have that going on with Ableton. Let's look at how we control all the parameters that we have on this MIDI controller within the desktop software. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because it's hidden. It's not as easy as you think it would be. You'd think this would be boom on the main website and you can download it. Maybe they'll change this, but at present on this video, it's kind of hidden away. So let's look at how we download all the free software, and also let's look at how we can get the editor installed on our computer. So firstly, we're going to go to akai.com. We're going to go to account, and you need to create an account. I've already created one. Register your controller. You can select here and say register new product, and then the serial code is on the underneath under the barcode. Enter it in and it will appear. Then if you go to downloads, you'll see all the downloads that are available here. So if you just go to MPK Mini Software Manager, download that application, and then it'll appear in your applications here. If we open this up, it looks like this. Okay, so here's where you download all your software and then you can install it. Once you close down Ableton Live, it will scan for these plugins and then open them up within Ableton Live. You need to make sure they're downloaded and you have registered an iLock account. Now, to find the editor here, we need to go to settings and go show advanced software. Why this is hidden, I do not know. That is quite an important thing. So got it here and we can go open, and here is the editor. So we can change the MIDI channels, for example, we can change the notes, we can edit it all. We can then send a program, so we can send and store all the presets here. So that's how we get that editor onto our computer. It's really not that easy to find. You would have thought that was a lot simpler. So Akai, if you're watching, put it on your main website, come on. Hope you found that video helpful. If you'd like to see more content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. We've got weekly videos coming out at the moment. Any questions on any of this setup, or you like further clarification, don't forget to leave a comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, take care. Hope to see you on the channel again soon. Bye for now.